guys, welcome to Word Wednesday. It's episode 31, and I'm stoked to have DJ Shawna here. Welcome to the shop. Welcome to Word Wednesday.
Thank you so much for having me, man.
Yes.
It's just an inspiring space. We've already had a fire conversation. Schleeberry's behind the camera, on the camera.
Sorry.
And we're just, I'm here.
Yes. Thank you. I'm super excited. I am glad you were able to look around a little bit. What was like some of the stuff that like stuck out of you right away? Stuff you noticed from like your childhood or things that just struck a chord?
Well, I'm a sneaker person, so the sneaker wall is fire. And it's probably best that I didn't spend a lot of time over there because I just love sneakers a lot. I'll have to show you a picture of my sneaker wall at home.
Yes, please do.
And then video games, honestly, because that was like the nostalgia. I remember when I got the regular Nintendo for my birthday. I think I played till my thumbs turned black, which I was like, I didn't even know you could do.
Yep.
And so played Mario till my thumbs.
I was gonna ask what system and what game was your go-to.
Well, I am a Nintendo person. I love so regular Nintendo was the first thing I had, and then Super Nintendo, and then I got 64. Yep. And then Wii.
Nintendo through and through.
Yeah. So like I'm a basic gamer.
Okay.
But I love that was so fire to see, and now like I think I told you too. I'm like inspired. I'm gonna have to go home and like
dig it out.
Yeah, set everything because I still have it all.
Okay.
Like,
yeah. Definitely don't get rid of it. And if you ever need anything fixed, we fix too.
That's good to know.
We get a lot of people who come in and they're like, "Oh, I found this. I don't want to get rid of it," and we send it off, clean it in and out, and take care of it.
That's fire.
So just a little bit, if you want to let people know, obviously I'm assuming if they're seeing the clip, they already know what you do. But if you just want to let the people know kind of what you do, career, how you got to be here, why we asked you and everything. Because obviously there's a reason. Everyone we have on the show does something good for Milwaukee, some form of positivity for the community, whether it be individually, based off their career, whatever it may be. So if you just kind of want to break it down what you do.
I appreciate that very much. Well, I mean, the same goes for you. Like that's it. I think like-minded people always find each other.
I agree.
And I think
talked about this.
That's what's pretty cool about this city is like I think it's a beautiful city. Yeah. There's a community here of people that support each other, that want to lift each other up, and I feel fortunate, I think, to be a part of that. Yeah. I'm a professional DJ. Something I never thought was a job, honestly.
Sick.
Yeah. Like we talked about earlier, like you want to like what does like younger Shawna like think about, and like I
would never picture
because I thought I was gonna be the first female NBA player.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
On God.
Thank you. Turn it up louder. And so like
you could have told me shit.
You're like, it's about to be me, Kobe, baby.
Yeah. I'm like, what up? Who wants to smoke?
Yeah. That's what I thought. You know, like I didn't know any better. I only knew basketball, and so DJing was a byproduct for me. It's funny, another thing we were talking before the camera started rolling. I'm actually not really good at being social, and so I played basketball at the University of Wisconsin, so I was a Badger, and then I ended up playing professional basketball overseas, and when I kept coming home, everybody to meet and make friends. At the time, we didn't have Instagram. You had to go out, like going out in real life. You had to experience things and like you meet people and like say like, hey,
touch grass, be out in the world, breathe air,
and stuff. And so I never drank alcohol. Like it was something I never got into. Okay. I always had basketball. And so I started DJing at Walker's Pint. Okay. And that's how it started. Yeah. And
what year was that?
I don't know. I honestly, I feel like it was, man, I'm old. It feels like 2 decades ago.
I was going to say, I could tell you wanted to say 20 years.
I know. I'm not.
But you were like, wait a second.
I'm so hesitant because I don't want to fight it. And I'm a female in a very male-dominated industry that's not sexy. And ageism scares me. Yeah. I'm saying that like publicly for the first time out loud. Like it's scary. So like 20 years ago, I feel like. So I admittedly I just turned 42. Okay. And so 20 years ago. Yeah. At Walker's Pint. Okay. And it took off like 10 years ago. Like maybe 10 years ago is when I found out about live entertainment. Yeah. And then it just snowballed. So I'm fortunate. I work a lot of really cool events, get to be in really cool spaces. Yeah. And I never take a day for granted because we've all known what it's like to have everything taken away.
In an instant, yeah, totally. So you went to Madison. So are you from
Yeah, I'm a
The-
Milwaukee kid.
Milwaukee kid? Okay.
Yeah, I went to
okay.
Pius.
Pius. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I hooped there too.
You led them to 3 state championships and won Gatorade Player of the Year
Oh
for
my
Wisconsin.
goodness!
Come on, come on.
No one knows that because
Yeah,
I
of
didn't really
course.
have the internet.
Is this Nardwuar? Who is this guy?
Seriously,
Yeah.
Pius XI, baby.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, there you go. Did you live on that side of town then?
Yep, I grew up. First house I remember was 45th and Valete,
Okay.
which I just have so many amazing memories.
Which is crazy because that's actually like right where I live right now. I'm
Really?
Yeah, I'm just off of.
You're right by Pete's Pops.
Yeah.
The OG Pete's
Yeah.
Pops.
Mhm.
But yeah, that neighborhood has like such a special place in my heart. My parents rented there, and then we moved one exit closer to, at the time, County Stadium.
Okay.
So then they bought a house on 40th and Wells.
Yep.
And we were right there. And so, yeah, Holy Cross and then Pius. So
Okay.
we were, yeah.
Yeah.
And my mom and my dad met in high school. So like their families are over by Pius and Juneau.
So you went to, you said Holy Cross then?
Holy Cross, which doesn't
Okay.
exist anymore, is a great school. It's on Holly
Okay.
and Blue Mound, which is like,
Yeah.
I think it's a charter school now.
Yes, it's
I can't remember what it's called.
yes, yeah, it's right on the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of my best friends lived like right by the Humane Society right there
Yeah.
in Wisconsin, so I was
Yeah.
down there all the time. I always went to MPS. I went to Spanish
Yeah.
immersion, then Roosevelt and arts. But being at his house, he knew so many neighborhood kids
Yeah.
that went to Pius, so we were always going to Pius parties.
Who was your best friend?
Sam Gallitz.
No, are you kidding me?
Yeah. Oh, you
He
would
lived
have
right
known,
behind me.
Yeah, you would have known Sean.
I know all of them.
Yeah, Sean's
Sam,
closer to your
Sean,
age.
and then
Taylor.
Taylor.
Yeah.
And Mr. and Mrs. Gallitz.
Yeah.
Literally, we could jump the fence into the yard.
So I
Like,
probably ran through your yard at
Oh,
some point because we
that's
used to come through there to go to
crazy.
Doyne Park.
yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yep.
You can't go through the other yards because they had 2 tall fences.
Mm-hmm.
Are you serious?
Yep.
That's
And
fire.
Your neighbor, Abby Wagner, she
Yeah.
would have been around like.
I think I knew
Yep.
Abby, and
Yep.
then because the Schaefers were next door to the Gallitzes,
Yep.
and then the other
Yep.
Schaefers were on the other side.
Yep, Matt Schaefer.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Was one of the boys?
There was a Justin and
Justin.
a Luke.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
That's so
Yeah.
fun.
That's
Small
so-
walkie.
No,
like, I
that's
talk
funny
about this
because
all the
that's our
time.
neighborhood crew. So you dropped it like that was how we grew up. We grew up playing outside, so we played basketball at Doing.
Yep. Soccer right
yeah,
there.
Soccer. We played football. We made up weird games. Baseball.
We go under the bridge and do graffiti. That's where.
I didn't do that, but yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
Yep, that was so.
That was you?
Me and him. Yep. Me and him got close. It would have been 04.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
04.
Tell him I say hi.
I will. He used to
Seriously.
work here. He just had a baby.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I just
Seriously.
went to his little cousin Patrick Murphy. He was probably too little for. He probably wasn't around when you were there, but he just got married. So the whole family
That's
was there.
crazy.
Yeah.
I am old.
Yep. That was
Okay.
crazy. Yeah. Yeah. But like thinking that little Patrick got married and he's now like 30. It's like
Right.
oh shit. Like when you first came over, like you were like tiny.
Right.
It was like I think 3rd grade the first time I met him.
Yeah.
It's
That's
crazy how that
nuts.
works. Yeah.
Man, that's funny.
Yeah, so obviously I'm assuming you loved growing up in Milwaukee.
I did.
Pinnacle thing for your
It was yeah.
childhood. Yeah.
It's in me, and that's something that I really do think like Milwaukee is in my DNA.
Yeah, big
Um,
time.
Not only from the neighborhood standpoint, but then I don't want to say blame because that has like a negative connotation, but I also my mother is the current CEO and executive director of Milwaukee Downtown, like Bid 21.
Oh, okay.
And so she I lived where I lived, but because again she was working her tail off, my brother and I grew up downtown,
Always around.
like always with her.
Very
So
cool.
it was constantly we were constantly doing lit drops and learning fax machines while she was working and
Yeah.
doing things we weren't supposed to do on the fax machine
Yeah.
and the copier and like things you're supposed to do as kids. And so, but yeah, so it's in me. It's, yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Any big like family trips or like vacations you guys had in your kid? You have one sip, two?
One real
sip?
brother and
Okay.
then
One fake brother. No,
yeah,
I'm just
no,
kidding.
I don't like that guy. That's not real. No, that's not real. No, I say that because my mom remarried later in life, and so
Yeah.
my stepdad didn't raise us.
Right.
We were grown adults.
Yeah.
But it was family from the jump, which was cool. So then I refer to them as my step siblings, or 2 sisters and a brother.
Okay.
So yeah, but yeah,
Very
Justin is my real brother.
Yeah. Trips, anything you guys did? Because obviously, like, I feel like vacations in like the 80s and 90s, they were just so different for us. It was like not a lot of families flew, I felt.
Yeah, we
unless it
drove
was
to Door County.
We drove, exactly.
Like, we drove to Door
to
County.
the Dells or Door County.
Yeah.
Like, that was...
Yeah, my grandma had a camper in Door County.
Okay.
Again, I come from, like, pretty, like, middle-class poor.
Yeah.
And it's not, I'm not, like...
Yeah,
it's
just like
it
Milwaukee
just is
middle.
what it is.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And, like, that was our vacation. My grandma, like I said, had a camper on some land there that that was our vacation.
Yeah.
And it was,
Yeah,
I
nothing
have
wrong with
so
that.
many memories. Bringing our bikes there in the gravel roads and just wiping out because you're taking turns too fast.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, I love it. I think when you grow up with trips like that, it just adds like such a deeper like connection and bond because you're enjoying like what you guys have and like what your family's built compared to like, oh, here's just a money you're spending to go experience something and then it's done.
100%.
It's cool to be able to build.
We ate food out of the fire.
Yeah.
Like my mom would make what do they call it when you put a bunch of meat and potatoes like in a foil ball and put it in the fire?
Oh yeah.
There's like a word for it. You're thinking about it too, but like that's what like
A
like
pasty?
No, that's good though too. That's fire.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's like that's exactly it. And
Yep.
those are some of my best memories, like the arts and crafts we would do and paint rocks. Like, like it's so fun. Like,
what was the? So you played basketball in middle school too, then elementary school.
At Holy Cross.
So then, what was? I always believe that there's a player or a game that really brings people to be like, oh, I like this, to like, oh, now I'm super about this. So was there like a game or like a championship run for a team that like really pushed you into like your love of basketball, or just you were always hooked and it just built every going?
It's funny because I think I told you too, like I was doing content all day today and it's with my dad.
Okay.
So a cooking like video with my dad.
That's awesome.
And so it was one of my goals, like to like continue to grow our relationship and also get to know each other better. And he's a phenomenal cook. And we talk a lot about a lot of this like reminiscing on like on stuff. So like sparks really fun like core memories for me. And that honestly, I didn't know any better. Like if it came to basketball. So I say this hesitantly because I work for the Bucks, but I didn't grow up a Bucks fan. I didn't have a team.
I was gonna say what you said. I'm trying to think how many years we were apart. So you grew up with like Paul Presley and like
I don't know
Gus Edwards.
I'll be honest, I don't know.
Oh, didn't follow it at all.
I didn't follow. So that was the thing. Like
how many people in Milwaukee did at that time?
Yeah, but I'm not knocking it. I just knew like my dad we just always had just sports on TV.
Whatever was on.
Right. So it never, and it's the same admittedly with I hesitate because I'm such a sports DJ. Like I'm not a diehard Packers fan.
Yeah.
It just wasn't instilled in me that way. Like, and I'm not knocking it. I love it. I appreciate it. I also appreciate just sport. And so I grew up, I remember watching our little TV with Michael Jordan. And like I remember those things. I just remember I didn't watch it though.
It was just background noise.
It was there.
Yep.
We'd always get kicked out of the house to have to go play outside.
Yeah.
And that's just what I enjoyed doing.
Yep. Get out of the house.
Yeah.
You know,
so that's what it was.
Off.
It wasn't. Yeah. It literally, thank you, Kendrick. Okay. I also cannot stop saying mustard.
Dude, I've been doing it so much. I woke up my daughter the other day, like to that. It was like 7:05. I just like kicked the door open, just
at the most random times. You just want to scream it. It just makes sense.
When we were running our Black Friday sales, I was like going through everything that's on sale, and I was like, but you know what's not on sale? And then I cut it to like the actual audio clip of mustard, and it's just like it's funny seeing like my like older relatives be like, what
happened?
You sell mustard? And I was like, leave them.
I'll see you at Christmas.
Yeah, see you at Christmas. Yeah, exactly. So when did you kind of realize that you had the like basketball talent, that you had the knack for it? It wasn't like this is something that I'm good at. It's like I actually there's something here. Like what made you realize like, oh, I want to go to the Badgers, I want to play there?
I don't know. Like cuz I'm the first in my family to really go to college, much less get a Division I Big Ten scholarship.
Huge.
So I sometimes like my brother will joke that like I was a product of like kind of He Got Game and like all the nostalgic like 90s basketball movies. Because my dad probably saw it. I just didn't understand it, if that made sense. Yeah. And so I joke though that like I came out of the womb with a basketball in my hand. So like I was a kid and like, you find out like all your friends have like a stuffed animal. Like I had a mini basketball that I slept with, like woke up with all the dots on my face.
Yep.
Yeah. And so I don't know. Like as a 8th grader, we wanted like, again, I understand like the magnitude of these things, but as an 8th grader, we won a private tournament that it's like all you do when you're in private school.
Yeah.
So like there's one tournament that you live for, and it was the Padre Sierra.
To win it's like crazy.
And so we won that, and then I sometimes joke that like sometimes like people are like, oh, I missed the bus. Like, I don't think sometimes the bus ever like came to my neighborhood. So like, I just didn't figure things out for a while.
Yeah.
And basketball was one of them. It was just one of these things. Again, I stutter because I'm not making light of it, because I made 3 varsity sports as a freshman at Pius. So I made varsity volleyball, basketball, and softball. Okay. And so the gift of like athleticism is something that I was like, again, I'm not a religious human being, but like, blessed with. Yeah. And like, it's a talent that like I got to do, and it gave me something to do in a space that I felt most like myself too, if that made sense. Like when you're
with actual reward too.
Exactly. That I enjoyed doing, and my teammates at Pius were amazing. Again, a 14-year-old to be on varsity. Crazy. The juniors and seniors that like took me under their wing, never peer pressured me. They like there's very so positive. Exactly. There were so many things, and it helped that the culture at Pius was this athlete powerhouse, especially when it came to girls athletics. And so
I hated playing you guys. I hated playing Pius.
Was always so good at everything.
They were good at everything.
Everything.
But they're not anymore.
No,
they're
not
okay.
really. Things are so mixed.
Fine, I'll let it go.
Things are so mixed now, but I remember like in high school when we would have the like couple games a year where like MPS would play like a suburban school or like a non-MPS school, and it would always be like they'd always stick us against like Pius or Marquette or like Arrowhead, and we're like, dude, we're Pulaski.
Those 3
like.
My high school coach went to Pulaski.
Really?
Coach Joel Clausen. I could tell you his whole story.
Okay.
But yeah, he went to Pulaski. He's an MPS guy.
I loved MPS. I loved playing for Pulaski. It was a great team, but man, it's just so different because a lot of those kids are neighborhood kids. Yeah. So they grew up playing. They played elementary through middle school together for all those sports. So then once you play together in high school, it's like, wow, you guys have so much team chemistry and like know how we play and like all this stuff. And then we come in and it's like, oh God, they'd have like matching jackets with like names on the back and like matching balls and backpacks. And like we have like Ricky who showed up with like a ball for us to practice with. And we're like,
the outdoor ball.
Oh, like we're about to get cooked. Like you knew when they were doing the like triangle pass at the defense, I was like, oh, they're going to cook us. They're going to cook us. It's like 7-1 at half. It's like, oh, fuck. Like, we were number 1 in MPS. That meant nothing when you went to the suburbs. Like, didn't mean a damn. Like, oh, we won the MPS Cup. Lost round 1 every year in state. Every year we would lose first round. Like, bad, too. One year they embarrassed us. One year we played Marquette. It was like, I think it was like 13-3 or something for soccer. That was bad. It was real bad. But
I'm sorry. I don't know. I mean, like you said, it shifts and it's changed.
It does. There are some powerhouse MPS teams.
There are.
I love it. So now we are going to do a little on the spot top 5. Okay. This one's going to be childhood edition. So it's all
I like it.
Right off the dome. There's no right or wrong answers. It's just whatever comes to your head.
Okay.
So you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Question number 1. Top 5 go-to VHS when you were a kid. What are the tapes you're grabbing when you're watching?
Honest God truth that came to mind.
Yes.
No filter. We probably were not supposed to watch this, but Eddie Murphy's stand-up where he does the do 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 do.
Oh like,
I know that thing too good, and why we had that I don't know, but like that's. Honestly, I mean, we had all the Disney ones, but when I say the first one that I'm grabbing was
grabbed it.
Eddie Murphy.
Yup. Was that a tape that you were like sneaking when the parents weren't around? Or,
I don't remember.
It didn't even matter.
Because honestly, I still call. I'm a good kid. Like I follow the rules.
Yeah.
I don't want to get in trouble. Like I get scared. Like if my mom sees this, am I gonna get in trouble
When I said the graffiti thing, you were like, "You did that. I didn't do that. I didn't do that. Mom, I didn't do that."
I'm not gonna tell on you. I wouldn't do that, but that's why I didn't have friends. They thought I was gonna tell on.
You're like, I don't know who did it. I just know it definitely was not me.
She was like, I saw that.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, that was you.
Yikes! She like moved her chair over a couple inches. Like, my parents are about to be pissed.
I was gonna say, I'm 42. Mom, I'm sorry.
Dude, my mom still finds out stuff from my past like 20 years later, and she'll cry.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Mom, it doesn't even matter. She's like, but I didn't know. And I'm like, but it.
They do that. They do, and I love them for that. But yeah, Eddie Murphy. I don't know
That's
if we were
funny.
sneaking it. I don't know if I was supposed to watch it. I don't know.
I can't
But I
imagine
watched
that
it.
that's like a child
That
appropriate.
cannot be.
No, he was raunchy.
Oh, it was.
Especially like
It was hilarious
Yeah.
though.
That's
It
so
still
funny.
is.
Yeah.
Like to this day.
Yep.
He's in. Is it like the? Is it all red leather? It's like he in or like. He's got some.
I couldn't even tell you.
Some sauce.
Something
on.
sassy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Something. But I remember that. Yeah. Eddie Murphy.
Any like Disney movies that were
Oh yeah, we had all the
to?
Disney movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the
Lion
classics.
King, Aladdin. Those were probably the top two. Lion King and Aladdin.
Yeah, just played.
Yeah.
Aladdin. That was the first movie I went to in theaters.
Was it?
Yep.
That's
Yep.
a
I was a
good
little
one.
baby.
That's
Yep.
awesome.
Very cool. All right, now we're coming in with question number 2. Question number 2 is going to be school lunch.
See, told you.
Oh yeah, it
full
is a red
leather. I
sassy
told
suit.
you.
Look how young he looks in that too. That's crazy.
Go watch it.
He looks like Michael Jackson in
It
it.
is.
I'll clip it in.
Please.
Remind
I'll
me
flip
what
a
it's
little picture
called.
of it.
What does it say? What it's called?
Delirious.
Delirious.
Okay.
Yes.
Delirious. Yes, we'll pull up
Probably one of
pic.
the funniest.
Yeah.
Yes. I have no idea if any of it is like incredibly inappropriate, but it is.
That's so funny.
I'm gonna send it to
Big
you.
thriller
Thank you.
vibes.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, so now question number 2.
Yeah.
Obviously, as a kid, we all have like favorite meals between like lunch and family
Ooh.
meals. What were like some of your top 5? Like, what were your top 5 favorite meals? Whether, like I said, school lunch or family meals that the parents used to cook up for you. I know you said your dad's a good
That's
cook.
funny. That's funny.
So
'cause
that's why,
again,
yeah.
I was with my pops today and we were talking about this. So like, cause he could cook and we would like, he'd pick us up from school. We'd run to the grocery store and he would get, you know, whatever. He wouldn't get a lot. He shopped kind of European.
Yeah.
And I learned that was because like, that's how we had to shop because we only had like X amount of dollars and they would like budget for like dinner for the night and he would throw down. And so like he did amazing. And I liked this stuff as a kid. We would eat stuffed peppers. My dad makes amazing like marinara, so pasta and like Italian sausages. He makes really, really, really good chili. My mom would just have amazing, like when we would have birthday parties or even like Sunday after. So you always played your games on Saturday. Like we didn't have this like you're gonna play 7 games in a weekend thing. Like you have one basketball game. Like, and then you like went home and, you know, I played video games. All the other kids hung with their friends. I played video games and, you did graffiti.
I'm catching strays. I did. My mom's gonna be like, and that's why he got
Well, you did
arrested.
this smiley face, right?
It was just big hearts of
Right.
sweet love
Right.
and positive messages only.
Right. You are beautiful. That
Yes.
was you.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was me.
Yep.
Yes, it was.
I get on board with that.
Yes.
But so Sunday mornings, my mom would throw down and have like chocolate chip pancakes and like not like thick pancakes,
Yeah.
but they're perfectly cooked. So
Yeah.
like those were fire. So
There you go.
I have those memories. And then the last one, we my great grandmother was around until I was like in my 20s, which is crazy. So my
There you
family
go.
is pretty young. And she came to the United States from Czechoslovakia.
Okay.
And so we would do a traditional Czechoslovakian Christmas dinner.
Okay.
And this is like one of the whitest things in the world. It was it was capped off. It was just like back there. I wish we could have a camera on her because this just like live reaction of all of this is amazing.
Trying to be
That's gonna
sour.
be Shalee's
Yeah,
YouTube. It's
yeah,
just Shalee's
right.
reactions.
All of the right, yes, perfect. But it's capped off with sauerkraut soup, which I can eat once a year. And I make it now every year with my mom. And so, like, that stuff, again, has just, like, amazing, like, family memories.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's a plate that has, like, heavy nostalgia and homage to it, connection with family roots.
What's your favorite family food? Because now I have to know something other than sauerkraut soup.
Well, I'm, like, 100% Sicilian, like, both sides. So, like, we grew up, typically Sicilians would do, like, the Feast of the Seven Fishes for, like, Christmas. But we have multiple people, including my mom, who are, like, deathly allergic to fish. So it was, like, a lot of, like, homemade pasta, a lot of spadini, which is, like, super thin pound, like, bread and meat that's, like, rolled up on skewers with, like, peppers and, like, things in between. We would do, like, arancini, which is rice balls, a lot of, like, homemade sausage. My grandfather owns Glorioso's. So Joe Glorioso, the original owner before he passed, that's my grandfather.
I love him.
Joe and Teddy, that's my grandfather and then my granduncle.
No way.
So it was always, we just take from the store fresh ricotta, homemade cannolis, and stuff like that.
That's
so, like,
incredible.
Just Christmas, we would invite everybody from the store, all the, like, loyal customers, and they would just have, like, massive buffet, and we would just have, like, 50, 60 fucking people in and out of the house for, like, Christmas Eve every year. Yeah, that's, like, the food, the family, the vibes. That was, like, to me, like, that's my favorite, like, family stuff.
Yeah.
Sure. So,
that sounds so fire.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you. That's amazing. I also love Glorioso's.
Thank you. Yeah, it's crazy that they sold it.
know.
It's, like, weird that after, like, almost 80 years, it's not in our family, but...
You still get, like, a family discount for life?
Nah. It's weird now. Yeah, boo. Tomato.
I like that pun, though, like, because that's legit.
Literally.
Literally
more tomato. So now for the third and final question. No, that's okay. A lot of it is always sidetrack and spiraling off. Like, trust me, we joked about the last episode because there was a lot of breaks being taken. But question number 3 for On the Spot is going to be, what were your top 5? I know you talked a lot about video games, but pre-video. Believe this or not, children, before video games, we had things called board games, which were like video games, but like in real life, like with pieces you could touch. It's a crazy concept, I know. But what were those like favorite board games? You can give me the 5 because it is 5, but if you got more, if you got less, that's okay. But what are some of the ones that like ping in your head right away that you played?
Right away, all I do think of like Candyland and Sorry.
Okay.
But I feel like I spent a lot of time in my great grandma's house, and we would play cards, and so. I mean, I learned solitaire.
When you said your grandma, I thought you were going to say, like, yeah, we played ball and stick. Or like something like really, like, just the way you said it, I was like, oh shit, she's going to say something crazy.
No,
like,
but we would, like, I don't remember, like, she didn't have, it's so funny, like, I just really, like, didn't have a box of toys.
Yeah.
Like, at my grandma's house. Like, we drew a lot. So, like, I love this because my grandma never had cable. So I watched, there was this Mark Kistler's Imagination Station, like on PBS. So I would draw cartoons like no other, which is not a game, but like that's what we did. And then I feel bad because I know I'm not supposed to call the card game this. I think it's called Higher or Lower now. We called it War. Yeah. Which I don't know that some people might poo-poo on me and throw tomatoes at me now. Yeah. But that's what it was called at the time. And like that's my grandma, we would get lost in that for it could take an hour sometimes. Yeah. And like so I don't know, like I remember, like I said, Sorry, Uno, of course. Yeah. Like Uno's up there. I still love Uno. Actually, Giannis's Uno. If you've never played that, highly suggested.
Very cool. Yes, the shoes were a crazy collab. Yeah, crazy collab. Yeah, really cool.
I know. Very cool. I loved it, and that Uno game is fire.
Yeah, I loved board games. We played a ton of board games. A lot of like Chutes and Ladder.
Yeah,
like
I did that one too.
Candyland. There was a cherry one, like a
cherry on top, or cherry shoot.
Cherry. You had like the trees, and there were but what was it? But it was also
called? Like the Chutes and
Ladders. Yeah, Chutes and Ladders was another one that was really good.
Was it? Were they apples instead of trees?
Was it an apple tree? Are you looking at pictures?
I'm looking up stuff.
What did old people play board games?
Stick and ball.
Yeah, it was something like cherry picking or something.
You're
like
not
that.
wrong.
But like
Yeah.
when Mousetrap came out,
Mousetrap.
that was crazy.
Operation.
Operation.
Yep.
My kids are super into board games right now, which makes me like really happy that they like.
How old are your kids?
Was it Hi Ho Cherry-O?
It was
It
Hi Ho
was.
Cherry-O. Thank you. Yep.
Mhm.
And the board had the trees and little divots that you would put
Yep.
the cherries in.
Yep.
Yep.
I liked how
Yep.
that felt.
I
Like,
same.
That was our early haptics.
That was the what was it? The poppets or the
Yeah.
fidgets
Yeah.
that the kids play with?
Yeah.
Like those fidget poppers.
Yeah.
That was like that's like people joke on how the first form of anxiety was perfection. Because it was like you had 30 seconds to like get them all in, otherwise they all flew up. Those were crazy. It was like, wait, I have to do this in 30 seconds. There's like 25 different pieces here. That was so good. That was so good. It's funny actually. The next part was going to be talking about. I know we kind of touched on it before, but what are just some of the? I know you played basketball for a long time. So is there like a tournament? Or is there a game or a trip you took as a team? This could have been with Pius or Wisconsin or with your team in Europe that like really stuck out, just something super memorable, a game you guys won or just like a crazy trip. Is there one that like pops out right away as like, damn, that's like one of the basketball moments for you?
Yeah. My freshman year at Wisconsin, you're not gonna believe this. We went to play at Pepperdine over Thanksgiving. We had Thanksgiving dinner with John Wooden.
Okay.
Who is like he wrote the basketball Bible. Like if you're a basketball head, like he wrote Wooden.
Yeah.
He coached at UCLA forever. Like
Years.
years.
Decades.
Yeah, right. Like won championship after championship. And my coach at Wisconsin, Jane Albright, was just so well connected. She was friends with Pat Summitt, and so like literally, if you would have told like. I got his autograph. Like we got to bring books
to
have him sign, which was so cool. That was probably one of the best basketball moments to sit at this table with Coach Wooden. Yeah, like at a Thanksgiving dinner, which is just saying it out loud doesn't feel real. Yeah, like just an unbelievable experience.
Okay. Very cool. Any other people like that you came encounter with due to basketball? Just like opportunities that you met, or coaches or players that you were kind of starstruck a little bit?
I don't know that I get starstruck, because one of my favorite things that I've learned working in the NBA particularly, because I think like as a female athlete, we're treated differently. Like just it is what it is. We don't necessarily always look the same. Like, right? Like if a basketball player walks in that's a male, like you just know, like heads turn. That was one of my favorite things at Wisconsin. Like we were joking about height earlier. I was like the second shortest on my team. Yeah. So like I had teammates that were 6'6" and 6'7". Yeah. Right. Yeah. Students. So one of my favorite things though about is like basketball just in general is like still human beings with extraordinary talents that are put on a different pedestal, really, right? Like, so one of my, I wouldn't say again like starstruck, but it's something that I like cherish, is my high school coach, like Mr. Clausen. And admittedly, like, I don't know when this is going to air, but like, so last night I worked, the Bucks played the Spurs late, so we had a late game. And it was a great game, and it was like a Wednesday night 8:43 tip.
On ESPN.
On ESPN. It was amazing to see Wemby in person. And the Bucks have what they call a prep series, to where they'll have like high school games that'll happen usually on game days, like before the Bucks play. Yep. So high school teams get to play on the court. They're playing a regular game. And there was a girls team playing, which happens just not as often as a boys team. Yeah. And I actually text my high school coach, and I'm going to read it to you, because I'm not making this up. And actually he just texted me back, which is funny. I really am reading this off the cuff, and I said I had to say hi and thank you for a lot that sticks with me, and I apologize because this might make me cry. Yeah, this is the man. So he was at Pius. We have tax. Okay. It's a homeroom basically. So he was my tack teacher. He was then my basketball coach and my softball coach, and a huge figure in pinnacle years of your life. Yeah. And again, this is so much bigger than me. Pius, for a really long time. So they still, girls basketball, long before I was even there, holds a win streak record at, I think, like, I want to say 92 games, like 92 games in a row or something like that, something crazy. Yeah. this stat has changed. For the longest time, we had run 18 out of like 21 state championships. And like my freshman year, we were ranked 5th in the country. So I text Mr. Clausen yesterday because I'm watching this girls basketball game as I'm setting up my DJ booth to get ready to
just like
to
such a
DJ,
crazy moment.
to get ready to DJ Giannis and Wemby in Milwaukee for the first time. And I said, I had to say hi and thank you for a lot that sticks with me. I'm setting up for tonight's late Bucks game while a high school girls game is being played at Fiserv. You're such a special coach, and your vision, direction, communication, and inspiration to get a bunch of teenagers to execute on a basketball court. Not just to play and have fun, but to have fun, win, and be excellent. The more boys and men's basketball games takes over with glimmers of girls and women, you, Mr. Clausen, deserve so many more flowers and much more. So thank you for believing in me and giving a tiny little kid as a 14-year-old a chance to be something. So
Yeah.
that guy.
That's beautiful. It's,
Yeah.
it's crazy because I think a lot of coaches just try being amazing coaches and like forget how much more they are to a lot of these people. And that's why I'm coaching my daughter's volleyball team right now for middle school. I coached her soccer team years ago, and I love it. Like, just being able to have that relationship with not only my daughter, but these other kids, because you can tell that just a lot of kids now don't have connections with their parents the same way that like we did. There's just so many more distractions and just bullshit going on in the world. So having that, like, I believe that third place for kids, it's like home, school, they need a third place, and then having such a strong positive role model there can literally change people's lives. Like,
well,
it's
and
crazy.
I would argue too, girls, again, it's different because it matters. And I'm not saying that boys doesn't. Boys matters. They both matter so differently.
Yeah, correct.
And there's so many stats on it, and there's also then so many numbers are dropping, particularly in girls' sports.
Yeah.
In the state of Wisconsin, like, we're losing kids to sports for whatever reasons that it may be in general. And so I appreciate what you're doing because I think it has to be fun. Like, it's a game. Like, it's a game.
Yeah.
And like, just like you're talking about Uno and shoots and ladders, like basketball and soccer and volleyball, it's a game.
I tell the girls, there's one girl who she's very nervous, and I explain to her on how so much about volleyball is about confidence and just believing you can do it. And she can't serve over the net. She can serve over the net, but she panics when she goes to serve, and so she bumps it soft and it doesn't go over. And I told her, this is supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
Like, I can see you're getting anxious and you're getting worked up when you. No one cares if you get it over. Now, this is a game. This is meant to be fun. Nobody is. Don't listen to them. They're frustrated because they want to win, but at the end of the day, I said, I'm going to be hurt. I won't say her name, but I said it doesn't matter. This is middle school volleyball.
Nope.
You're supposed to be here to be building a connection with your fellow teammates, getting out of your home, getting some exercise, and just getting some aggression out, having fun. And if you don't want to serve, dude, I'll take you out right before you serve and then put you back in. I don't care. It's what you want. Like, she didn't join volleyball to be really good at volleyball. She joined to get out of her house, to be with friends. You got to just accept people for who they are. She's not going to be the next all-star. She doesn't want to be. She just kind of wants to hang out. So just let her kind of hang out and work with her, but build her and support her. And you can already tell just the way that some of these kids are already coming out of their shell by like week 3 or 4.
That's really cool.
Like, it's super cool. It's very
It is.
fun.
And I think too that, you know, like we talked about the phone, there's just so much pressure on kids. Ours was different, but like there's just so much pressure to not only be perfect and then be the greatest, and all of a sudden you have an NIL deal and a new Toyota Tundra, and like you're just like, like you just play the game. It's okay.
It's so
you
much
just
pressure
play.
now.
Like,
it's taken away. That's why I think so many people have started moving away from sports, because it's gotten so serious. It's so money involved. Everything's being filmed.
It's not amateur anymore.
Correct.
Like, that's the part. It's like, I'd give anything to still play basketball and you wouldn't have to pay me.
Correct.
Like,
Yep. I played soccer for over 20 years and like stopped playing. Missed it every day.
It's the hardest breakup I've ever had to go through.
Yep.
Sometimes it calls and it's like, how you doing?
And you're like,
not today,
no,
Satan.
My knees
I
ain't
need to
calling.
Swear to God.
So we've been talking a lot about basketball.
Yep.
One of my questions I wanted to ask you, because you've obviously lived through an amazing time of basketball and seen some of the greatest plays, both firsthand while DJing and everything else. If you could make You plus your dream 4, your dream 5, including you though. You're on the team.
I get to play.
You're playing with them. So they don't even have to be the best players. It's not about winning. What 4 basketball players, men or women, throughout history would you enjoy playing a pickup game with?
Oh my God.
Any 4 players throughout history, living, dead, professional. It can be someone from your Pius team. You could say Jordan, Kobe, and Sarah Rodriguez from Pius.
That's funny. That's a person.
I read the roster.
That's a person. That's funny. Man, immediately I have to. Oh my God.
I know you can think on. Don't worry, take your time because I'll
I get
jump off the break.
6 of us.
4.
4.
It'd be you plus 4.
Okay. I thought you said 5. I'm the 5th.
Yep, you are 5th.
I thought we get a sub because my team's gonna be old.
You'd be like, we need breaks. In this fictional game, I know I'm gonna need breaks.
We gotta
Real
have
breaks.
one sub. Yeah, like,
I'm tired.
like every 2 minutes.
You're like,
Yeah.
Thinking about where the knee braces are.
She's worried about this imaginary game. She's like,
I'm
I'm gonna need a sub, bro.
I'm all right. I know for sure. I mean, this is no question. I'm hesitating on who I say first but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say Candace Parker and Diana Taurasi.
Okay.
Like I'm struggling to not pick the whole UConn. Everybody. Oh my goodness. Oh my God. I want to play with Giannis so badly. I think I would have so much fun playing with him.
Because even now, obviously, we only see what is shown to us, but he seems like someone who still just genuinely enjoys
That's
playing
why.
and having fun and the like behind the back passes and like doing all this stuff to where
Because
it's
it's
like
a game.
he's still treating it like that. I think he does such a good job of like remembering where he's come from, how far. And
So then with that, and I'm not making this up, and I hesitate on telling these things because I don't want to be like, I legitimately, not this last game, but a previous game, so I don't even know. Were the Raptors? Were the Raptors just in town?
yes,
Raptors were just in town, and not every guy, but often there's guys on a regular basis on home games that come and say hi.
Oh, to you.
To me.
Okay.
Yeah. And so AJ Green is one of those guys. He's I want to play with him. And I just told him that 4 days ago. And it was one of my favorite things. And that might seem so random, but right now, that's my team. I'm going with it. AJ, Giannis, I said Sue because I wanted Sue on the team badly. Diana and Candace.
Okay.
What a squad!
That would be so fun.
Yeah.
That would be so.
Yes.
We were just talking about putting together a 3-on-3 or a basketball tournament of some type. That would be so dope to get somebody like AJ Green, who's like obviously professional and famous, but not somebody who's like so far unattainable, like so they'd maybe be willing to do it. That'd be so sick. That's very cool. Very cool.
He's very, like I said, I mean that. And that's what you said it exactly. Is usually the people that I'm most like. I would love to play with LeBron, honestly, too. Like that was hard to not put Bron in there, because usually the people that are having the most fun doesn't necessarily mean that they're MVPs or world champions, but like they're playing the game, and that's honestly like what I told AJ was like, man, I love looking at him and being like, I love watching you play. It's like one of my favorite things to like tell them, and like because I love watching them play. I love watching AJ play. And I said that I was like, I would love to be on the court with you. And he looked at me, he's like, we'd tear it up, wouldn't we? I was like, AJ, you gotta fly. Literally all I do, I can get every rebound, you fly, I'm gonna get it to you from like opposite 3-point line. You just post up on that like in your spot. I'm gonna give it right to you, my guy. I'm not even gonna run all the way to half court because it's going in. And like
it was funny, we were talking basketball, and at the beginning of the season I was like, oh yeah, I said AJ and Ajax are gonna start getting minutes, like for sure. It's like you said, they're playing the game, and they're such good role pieces, and like they're so exciting to watch. And it's like, does this person have the top ranked defense? No, but it's the effort. Like that's why I loved Deladova. Like I did, just because he had 120% in every play, even if it wasn't necessary. He was just, like, giving that extra like like I love that. I love that. That was super big. Very cool. Okay, so if you could pick the 5 you went against, what would be the other 5 that didn't make the cut in the 5v5 pickup game?
Atwater kindergarten class. Just kidding. The 5. That's what we're gonna play.
You
against.
saw Kai did that. Kai created a basketball league, and he did all kids, so he could play against them. And then he took all the best kids and put them on his team, and then everybody else. And I was like, this man is insane. He just funded a league so he could beat up middle schoolers. But the crazy part is middle schoolers are so big now. There were like 8th, because Kai's only like 5'5".
Yeah.
So there were like middle schoolers the same size, the same, like blocking his shots and stuff. I was like, oh no! Like, guys getting nothing's more embarrassing than like setting up something to cook and then just getting clocked by middle schoolers. Like, these dudes, their moms are in the crowd right now. They drop them off.
And then they'll talk shit and it hurts even worse.
Yes.
Like,
yes,
dude,
exactly.
you're like 12, bro. Chill.
That's so funny.
That's funny.
So obviously you've worked with the Bucks since
Oh man, I think 17, 18.
17,
Yeah,
18?
that's
Okay,
when it
what I
started.
thought. I was saying, I know a couple years
Yeah.
before COVID. So you were in the system, you were DJing for
Yep.
a little bit. Once COVID hit, what did that look like for you? How did that adjust? Were you they still had you in there, but it obviously just...
So my role, so when I first started with the Bucks, DJO was our official DJ.
Yep.
And just amazing. Like, love that guy to death.
Yeah, he's coming in here a couple times.
Yeah, he's amazing. And so I was support. And so it was like kind of when like NBA entertainment really has started to take a shift and create, honestly, even more of an experience for people that come. So I started at the Bradley Center, and it literally, that first season was just a handful of games. Coincidentally, that was the first season I kind of was in live entertainment at Marquette Women's Basketball as well.
Okay.
So I was our official DJ and host there. And that was like, if you're, again, a basketball junkie, like Teaspoon played there. So Teaspoon plays in the league right now, played for a championship this year. And like, it's so fun to watch her play. They won the Big East that year. And I got to witness and be a part of their like season, which was just incredible. And so a handful of games at the Bradley Center the first year, and it kind of just continued to grow. And it was just support. So like at the Bradley Center, if you remember, like in the atrium, like we were just playing loud music in there. So sometimes there was a house band, sometimes there was a DJ.
Yeah, you just walk in.
You just walk in the cement box and you have music bouncing off of your ears everywhere. And so like, but it felt like a party.
It did.
Yeah.
It did.
And so that grew. Fiserv Forum opened. So the first season was 2018, 2019. And I was still support.
It was that long ago.
I know,
already.
which
oh
is
my
weird.
God.
Weird to think about.
Yeah, that is weird to think about.
That was, I think, the first year Giannis won MVP. Like after that.
First year in the
And then the following season, so 2019, 2020, I got the role I have now as our official DJ and producer.
What a first year to get it.
It was.
To get interrupted halfway through and stuff.
And then COVID hit. And so I got lucky, and I knock on wood because I still feel like it was a dream. I got to go to the bubble, and there was only I was one of 4 DJs like that got to work. And like,
that's crazy.
It is when you think about it, and I'm not making light of it, but it was in the world. Like legitimately, the world was shut down, and like I got to work, and it was an unbelievable experience on so many levels. Because again, I hope we never have to experience that again. But like to be there, and this stuff makes me like kind of emotional too. Like because it's so tricky because the Black Lives Matter movement was getting so much traction and it needed so much attention, and it was just like this kind of like I like perfect storm that happened to where we could all be like, we could step back and be like, this obviously matters, but now it's finally getting like the light it deserved. And so leaving was hard from a COVID standpoint and from like a social justice standpoint, and like realizing I had a really great like person close to me help me understand this, that said to me like, sometimes the world needs distraction, and that's okay. Yeah. And it is okay. It doesn't mean that I didn't care. It didn't mean that I pushed it aside. But then coincidentally, I was in the bubble when Jacob Blake got shot in Kenosha. And like, I was DJing the game that the Bucks boycotted. And like, if you have 3 hours one day, I will walk you through like that entire day.
What a crazy.
And what it was, because I remember waking up and it happened, and we had to get COVID tested every day, and we had to like log in all these like health stats every day. We'd wear everybody right masks every day. We had social distancing monitors, which sounds weird, but like right now it'd be beeping like crazy. So if you were 6 feet apart, you didn't beep. But so we had all these things that NBA was just taking protocol so that we could play basketball. And so I went to get tested that morning, and the TVs are always on. There's nothing else to do, so the news is on, and such a weird feeling to be so isolated, because literally it was a bubble. We lived at Coronado Springs at Walt Disney World. We were not allowed. You could not leave. And players, like, there was no exceptions. Like, to a hierarchy of humans, there was zero exceptions. You got on a bus in that radius, we were like hamsters.
No
and we begged to go different routes to ESPN
to be able to
see
something
anything
different. Please God,
And then that was another bubble. Was there were 3 courts at the ESPN, World of ESPN. We'd get dropped off there again, self-contained. Everything we needed was in there. We were not again allowed in or out. We couldn't, like, nothing. And so I'm getting tested over here and feeling so far away from everything and so helpless and so alone. And like every day they're like, how are you doing today? And like I pull my mask off and it just
just like boogers and stuff.
Just done. And then I'm like, I'm sorry,
it was a crazy fucking time.
And so going to that game, the conscious decision of, if these guys who predominantly are black men are going to decide that they are going to show up today for work, who am I to say that, like, I can't work? And that was how it changed my perspective so much. So that was an unbelievable experience, just overall as a human, and then from a work standpoint, and like the bubble itself. But that will be a story that I will proudly tell forever, because I'd never been more proud to be a part of the Bucks organization than I was, like, in those 2 days. Because if you go back and like look at it, and I don't remember the day that we were playing, I think the Orlando Magic in like the first round of playoffs. I don't know what the date was, because again the season it wasn't basketball season. Days didn't matter during COVID.
I would say, because the way that it was pushed back, I believe it was the end of May, beginning of June, right around. It might have actually been in June, because I signed my lease March of 2020. But I had to close until I could open to the public in June. It was like June 14th. But when they had the protests and they came through the streets, that standoff with the cops was right in front of my door. And I don't even think we were open to the public yet. I think I had maybe like a couple people in for like private appointments, but we weren't even open yet. And I remember people calling me, like, worried that the store was going to get looted, because they shattered the glass at the smoke shop across the street and stuff.
Oh, you're right.
And it was crazy. So at this time I lived on Locust and Murray. So I lived like 6 blocks away, and I was going to come down here and like stay in the store to protect it. But I had my 2 kids and my wife. And so people were coming through the streets there. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of kids were coming, or people just in general were going through the streets at like 9-10 o'clock at night. And they were scared. They didn't want me to leave them. So it was like, oh God, I just like had the cameras up watching, making sure things were okay, and then watching the news. And that was a very crazy time. But almost to, like, I can tell you're like me, you love Milwaukee, you love the city and everything we stand for. Seeing the city in the state it was in for those, I'd say like 6 weeks specifically, was like so sad. Just like so like morally crushing to see the way that the city was in every way. Obviously like it was justified, like everybody's reaction, but it just was such a like very heavy. It was like, we're dealing with COVID, we're dealing with people getting killed, and then riots, on just so much hate on both sides. It was just like such a anti-Milwaukee feeling. Like Milwaukee has always felt very, now everybody's experience is different, but whether I was on 13th and Mitchell or 48th and Burleigh or, down here on the east side, like there was always very heavy community base. There was always so much, if you knew the neighborhood, you were welcomed and accepted. And then there was such a long stretch of like, every place just felt uncomfortable. Every place felt sad. And it was like such a sad thing to see Milwaukee be like that, that it was, I have a couple friends who like moved away and stuff. And it was like, you were spared of like seeing Milwaukee get like that. And it's so nice to see that now, finally, now 5 years later, we're really like starting to get back to like productions and like, you know, creatives doing stuff together and things being, community starting to really get intertwined again, because it just got shut down for so long. And it was very sad to see, because Milwaukee's such a small, big city that like if our communities aren't intertwining and escalating each other, like it just stays very like negative and can get very stagnant very quick. So I'm sure obviously being away was horrendous, but if it helps, if it helps just like a little bit of solace is like knowing that, you know, you were at least spared from having such like, just like living in such bad stuff in the city. It was just so sad.
I hear that, but I think the positive, if I like, because I like that, I loved with the Bucks, they put the world on pause.
Hell yeah.
For 2 days.
They did
and
such
they were
a
like,
good
they said, excuse us, like, yeah, we're gonna play basketball and we understand you need like entertainment and this is our job and so on and so forth, but like we have to refocus on like what's matters.
Actually important.
And so I didn't experience that in that moment. I mean, obviously I still had my family here,
which was probably hard thinking about them and what they're going through and are they okay, like
trying to focus on work and like so much in here and in here. But so it's interesting to still talk about, and I want to keep talking about it because I don't want to lose it, if that's a fair thing to say, because I think again it's integral that we tell the true story on everything
and not forget
exactly
and not forget it wasn't just a blimp, like it did matter, it still matters, it's something that still needs to be like talked about and brought to light and stuff, I feel. So I know you've done a lot of stuff. I know you've done like all-star games, you've done like the Ryder Cup, you've done some super cool things. What obviously doing the Bucks continuously is like very rewarding, but what's like one of the like one-time events you did that like was phenomenal, that you just like really dialed in on? Like when I saw that you did the Ryder Cup, I was like, that was either probably really cool or was it boring?
No,
it was crazy.
That's when I fell in love with golf.
Okay, see, I don't do golf.
No, I'm a city kid.
That's why when I saw that, I was like,
no.
Was it slapping or trash?
It was.
So I'm curious. So how was the Ryder's Cup?
Because it was. I had no clue what it was.
It was the one here,
it was
right?
Straight. Yeah, just like north. I didn't know what I got myself into. Like I'm not even lying. Like, and again, Doing was across the street, but like, no one taught me how to play golf. Like I was like,
I don't have the patience for it.
I love it now.
Okay.
I started
you
playing
golf now?
Because of that.
Oh, that's
I'm
crazy.
I'm not even kidding.
Okay.
And I like where it's shifting.
Yeah.
I like what's happening with the culture. But yeah, Ryder Cup was cool. Like I was blown away. Crazy. And like it was crazy as a DJ to be DJing at 4:30 in the morning. I was starting at 4:30. Like the amount of times when I was starting DJing that sometimes I would DJ until 4:30. But like these people are getting there, and I'm not even exaggerating. They're waiting at the gate. They sprint a mile
to get
because the grandstand at hole 1 is where the party is.
Okay.
And there's only 4,000 seats. And then they disperse amongst the 18 other holes. But like
you want to
be the party. There. And so there's a DJ, that's where they chug beer and take their shirts off. Like there's USA chants and like crazy. Europe chant. Like it was, I was like, I like golf. I like golf.
What do you play at 4:30 in the morning? Like, what's on that set list?
So I went, that's fun because I actually have those crates built out. That's a phenomenal question. So 4:30, I think like first they teed off at like 7. So literally I'm playing like a 2.5 hour set.
Yeah.
And I did go in with inspiration sort of every day. So I want to say it was like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Sunday's like the big day.
Okay.
Because it's the final day of team competition. But like Thursday, they also had juniors. So like I did a very poppy. I remember this because like I use this for inspiration often.
Okay.
So I went more poppy because it was kids.
Yeah.
Honestly, a lot of Justin Bieber, and like that gives you so much fun because then you hit top 40 hip hop and like it's just bouncy and you're going for good vibes. Like particularly too because people are just sitting there and so you're just looking for engagement. So sometimes there were slow songs that people then would sing along to, but you don't want to fall asleep because it's 4:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
I think Thursday was just like I looked at it almost just like a Thursday, kind of like amped it up a little bit, and then Fridays and Saturday like again like full party vibe. Sunday I had one of my favorite days DJing there.
Okay.
And
just ever you're saying
like yeah, and like it stands out in my brain because it was a beautiful day and I ended up it was to me a Sunday fun day. And just like whether you're like barbecuing or you're shooting hoops, so I was like playing everything from Fresh Prince to like Motown to classic rock to like everything and people were just singing to everything, and I don't even think I played anything like actually new until the last like 30 minutes to help build energy. But that was so that was fun. Ryder Cup was fun.
Very dope. So now you have done a spread. What's something you would love to do that you haven't done yet?
Like from a DJ standpoint?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Like event-wise. Like
Olympics.
Yeah. Summer or winter?
Doesn't matter. Probably summer though, because that's when basketball is.
That'd be dope.
Yeah. Olympics is on my dream. And that's one of the things that I use as a catalyst for my DJ career is like I've gotten to do some really amazing things as an athlete, like playing. And then I've gotten to do some really, really amazing things as a DJ that I never got to do as an athlete. Okay. Like be a part of an NBA championship team. Amazing. And so like that stuff again, NBA All-Star game, like women's Final Four, the list of things, Team USA women's soccer, like the things that I get to be a part of. It's crazy. So Olympics, again, I thought I was going to play in the NBA and then go to the Olympics. So,
but you still can. You still can go to the Olympics.
Fingers crossed.
Yes. Yeah. That would be super cool.
Yeah.
That would be super cool. What is, like, I was thinking, because obviously you DJ, you've been there for a while. You've said that you've kind of built a couple relationships with a couple of players. Are there players that when they see you, they're like, play my song, and you know what song they, like, do any of the players on the active roster now have like a song that they're asking you to play that you make sure you play for them, that like they're always asking for? Like Giannis has a favorite song that he's asking for, requesting from you? Or
he wears headphones like pregame.
Usually I see him with the phone.
He does. They died the other day, and I do know or they didn't work the other day against the Raptors actually. So I don't know what happened. Like he doesn't like he's at work. Yeah. And so I think I know what Giannis likes. Like, and if he wants something, he asks me. Yeah. And so I mean, he's the reason I love Afrobeats. Like, full disclosure, like, I love Burna Boy. Okay. Like, he and Thanasis put me on Burna Boy 5 years ago. Really? And yeah, so like, I love Burna Boy a lot. And then Burna Boy performed at halftime at the NBA All-Star game that I was DJing. So like, again, there's so many layers to just like the culture that's really, really cool. But no, right now there's not actually. So like the previous season we have had like TA, Thanasis, he was the music guy. Yeah. He would come out and he would be in moods, and like sometimes he wants to feel 50 Cent, and sometimes he wants to hear Afrobeats, and sometimes he wants to hear stuff that I can't play. Yeah. And I'm like, TA, I love you, dog.
There are children here.
I'm not allowed to play that. Like, and explaining that to him sometimes is difficult because like I get it, like you want to hear what you want to hear, but I love DJing for Dame. Like it's one of my favorite things because he just also, I respect his game. I wish I could have put him on my team, like, but I don't know. Like, can he be our sub? Yeah. Like, oh, come on. Can they, please?
She was begging on a sub, bro.
Dame is sixth man is like crazy. Yeah.
I swear.
No.
He's gonna see
when I see him, I'll be like, Shawna had you coming off the bench, bro.
I'm the sixth man. But no, I love DJing for them. Like it makes me happy. Because again, the way I see it is that we're all at work, and it's not about me. It's not my show. That's is Giannis and Dame's show.
Mhm.
People pay money to see a basketball game. My job in that space is to add value.
Yeah.
And so
Curate the vibes.
right.
Mhm.
So if they're having fun and they're feeling it, as you know, like music is everything, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure you have music on in here when
Mhm. Always.
we're not recording a
Yeah.
podcast due to copyright laws.
Yes.
And so like it sets the vibe, it sets a tone, but it's not supposed to be how do I say, like distracting in a
Yeah.
good way or a bad way.
Mhm. It's supposed to
So,
be an additive.
Again, I look at it as I get to live soundtrack a Bucks event day
Yeah.
every home game.
Mhm.
And that's all I'm doing is I'm trying, I think the best characteristic that I have as a human is I can feel, and that is what makes me a good DJ.
Yeah.
I'm not the best DJ. I can't battle, I can't scratch, like I talk about this all the time, but I can program and I can feel, and I'm
Mhm.
not everybody's cup of tea, but the decision I make is for a reason. In every capacity throughout that whole event.
Yeah.
And so, but DJing for Dame is like, I take so much pride in that because that man loves music.
Yeah.
And like, admittedly too, he loves old school hip hop and R&B, which like my heart and soul like
Love
lives
it.
in. And so like when I'm playing, Aaliyah to like warm up for a basketball game, it is like one of my
Just
favorite.
loving it.
I do, and it's like, and they all do. They love R&B, which helps because like it's just good vibes.
Mhm.
So yeah, they've taught me a lot about humans and music as well.
Do you ever play Dame's songs for
Yep.
him while he's?
Sometimes I do, especially like
It's dope.
it is fun. He doesn't. I asked him this year, and he didn't make music because he said he was like I was in the other lab, and I was like I respect that. I was like,
Yeah.
but when you have it, please share
Yeah,
it with
please
me,
send
sir.
it over.
Please send it,
Drop
sir.
the link.
But yeah, I do. I like doing it because I like when he's like shooting around. You look up and he's
Yeah.
like mouthing the lyrics.
Bobbing.
Because you make it for a reson,
Yeah.
right? Like, and it's not egotistical or arrogant. Like when we had Serge Ibaka, I would play Serge's songs.
Yeah.
Serge had some Afro beats and
Yeah.
like, I mean, right now, what's the Ball Brother? Ball Brother, his song's
Yeah.
going viral in the league.
Yep.
Like,
They
so
love that song.
yeah, they do Tweaker.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it's so like. I mean, I don't hate on music because I've learned how much energy and effort and skill go into just making a song
Mm-hmm.
and then much less a banger.
Yeah.
So like, it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
I love it.
TA came in last year with Slam Magazine,
Yeah.
and he did a shopping spree. And that dude bought one of the rarest tees we've ever had in here, and he's at least never worn it down the tunnel because I'm always checking it. So, in the intro of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air,
Yeah.
Will Smith is sitting on the throne and it's spinning, and he's wearing a shirt called the Body Glove.
Yeah.
And what it is, it's an all-over print. They were hand screen printed on like the garments and then cut and sewn together. So each one's like a little bit different. It's a $500 t-shirt. He bought it, he loved it, he held it up, he tried it on, he was in the dressing room, they did a whole photo shoot and video and all this shit while they were here. It was super cool. But then he still never worn it. I'm like, bro, you bought one of the rarest tees we've ever had in the store. He was so excited about it. He was like, wait, this is the real one from Fresh Prince. We showed him the video and everything. He loved it. Never seen him wear it. I've checked
He's worn
his...
it.
He's totally worn it.
Yeah,
but
you
just
don't
not
know
down
it.
the tunnel.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like,
He's
please,
worn it.
I need a picture, please. God, today. Please. I'm
Wait,
even
so
like checking.
Slam didn't ever post any of those pictures then?
Oh yeah, they posted all the videos and like it went super super well. I just wanted to see him wearing it like in public, like
yeah.
not just during like in the
Yeah.
store. But yeah, that was super cool. They reached out. I actually thought it was a scam at first, but they were like, "No, we'll call you." I was like, "Okay." And I had to sign a contract and stuff. But yeah,
That's
they
cool.
showed up on one of the days we had. I think it was like a Sunday or something, and they just gave him like the Slam Magazine credit card and was like, "Here's $1,500. Buy whatever you want. Try it on." They did like a video interview here about
That's cool.
like. It was called Catch My Thrift.
Yeah.
And they just talked about like fashion and like clothing and stuff. And they did like a whole segment in the store. It was super
That's
super
cool.
cool. But every time like a tunnel pick or like I'll always check his podcast. Like, is he wearing it? Damn it. No, fuck. There's been Ajax has come in a couple times and bought stuff. And it's funny, he always ends up buying like the most generic stuff, so I can never tell if it like he bought like black Levi's and like a Carhartt jacket. I'm like, fuck, I'm not even able to tell if it's mine. I'm just like, shit. So I was like, I gotta get him some like say word stuff. I gave him a couple say word things next time or last time he came in actually.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know.
That's awesome.
Same with like Arike.
Yeah.
Like, she's from Milwaukee.
I know.
So every time she comes into town, her and her brother stop in. Just,
I worked the Final Four where she hit.
Oh, yeah.
I was literally like from me to the Nintendo 64 away from it. Like, yeah.
She's so nice too.
Unbelievable human being.
Yeah.
And we talk about talent and yeah. She's playing in the new 3-on-3
league. That looks so good.
DJ that I couldn't make it
Because of
Bucks.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw Zora Stevenson was talking about it.
Yeah.
And that's actually my oldest daughter. Her name's Zora. So that's why when Zora Stevenson joined the crew originally, I was like, oh my
she
God,
was just
I love
here.
this.
She called the
pregnant.
Trailblazers.
Yep,
I know.
Yep, pregnant.
Yeah.
So cute. I loved their announcement video with
I know,
the two
with
pairs
the
of
Converse.
shoes. Yep, the two pairs. Dude, I can't imagine twins. My buddy's got 3 kids under 5, and I'm like, so you just hate yourself. Because that's psychotic. Like, I'm sorry, buddy, but 3 under 5, like, he just got the oldest one out of diapers, and I'm just like, oh my God. My kids are like 7.5 years apart, which is great. So I got 13 and then 5.5. So it's something to say the least.
Yeah, it is.
So before I get into this last the Milwaukee this or that, I know we've kind of joked about like young you. What would be one piece of advice you would tell younger you between then and now? Just one sentence, one bar. Like, what would you tell them, as whether it be for mental security, whether it be for confidence or ease of mind? Like, what would, if you could go back and tell yourself one thing, what do you think you would tell them?
Honestly, it's probably what I still need to hear today, but it's like, be you. Like, and it's like probably, I think, one of the most vulnerable, difficult things to do when you feel different. Like and follow that, because it's working. Like, so far, like, again, like, knock on wood, and it's surreal, and I pinch myself, but I've found people that see me, and that wasn't always like the case. Like, you know, school's hard, being a kid's hard. Like, again, being different is hard. I grew up private Catholic high school, and I didn't want to wear girls' clothes, but like I could hoop, but like it was hard, right? Like, understanding my sexuality, and then dealing with that, and talk about all that stuff, not drinking. Like, there's so many layers to all this stuff.
And I think, like, a lot of people too, sorry to cut you off, I don't think
fine.
people realize how quickly acceptance has grown, especially in like middle school and high school. I'm sure, you know, you go to any high school now, there's going to be tons of people openly expressing their sexuality, dressing all different types of ways. But especially being in the early 2000s,
which
like,
wasn't that long
it
ago.
wasn't
like I said,
that long
I know
ago.
we're joking about how old I am, but like,
but
it really wasn't
correct,
like that long ago.
100%.
And I mean, my girlfriend Erica, we went to high school together, and we were treated like so differently, and by the same people. So like, this person was amazing to me, but treated her poorly because she was dating girls, and then this person was amazing to her and treated me poorly because I was gay. And so like, it's just so interesting on it all, and I don't hold any of it. Like, I don't ever want to forget it, because it's made me, but I think the best advice is like, it's like, everybody talks about this, is like, just be authentic. And I mean, I got off Twitter because it wasn't a good space for me after Bucks games, because those, like, a lot of people just don't like me as a DJ for some reason. They like at Bucks games, but like, it's an ugly space. But like, that it's just noise, and that's the other part, is like, I don't know. I'm never perfect, and I'm you know, I make mistakes, but like, when I'm the happiest is when I am fully myself, and I am weird. Like, I feel weird sometimes, and I feel quirky, and I talk too much, and I get excited, and I talk too fast, but like, I don't know how to be anything else sometimes. So when I find spaces and people like that are like down with it, and like kind of get it, and also, I don't ever want to be like a vampire, energy vampire. I want to help feed people and lift people up. Like, that's to find that stuff. So like, being authentic and being me and all that stuff, the other that I feel like made me different is actually what I think like does make me different. And that's why I get to be one of 32 NBA DJs. Like, in the world.
It's a crazy. How many fields are there in the world where there's sub 40 people doing what you're doing? You know what I mean? Like, there's not.
It's weird.
There's not a lot of careers and fields that are doing that. That is something very special and something unique. So I love that. Very
thanks
cool.
for letting me be me.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
appreciate
Oh, of
you.
course. This is
Usually.
Stop.
I tell
For real.
people all the time, this is such a safe space. We have so many different people that come in here, and the one thing that has made me just a better individual, father, partner, everything is just truly, and not just saying it, but truly accepting people for who they are. Everybody has traumas, everybody has stuff.
Right.
There's going to be things I don't like about a person, but that doesn't give me right or justification to treat you any less, because we all have shit. And if I wore some of my darkest stuff out on my sleeves, I would expect people to treat me poorly too, because that's the world we live in, but that doesn't make it right. People need to learn that it's a safe space so they can come out of their shells and be true to who they are and express themselves. Because we got a lot of guys in the neighborhood who live alone. They live in the elderly home across the street, and they come over and they'll sit here all day and vent and spiral and be manic. And we have people employees even, I don't know how you deal with that. It's not about dealing. It's literally just accepting. And if they're causing problems, okay, we handle it. But if this dude wants to sit here and talk about what it was like living in northern Wisconsin in the 60s, dude, let him. Because he doesn't have anybody else to talk to. And this is the highlight of his week. This keeps him going. And literally all you have to do is shut up and listen.
Yeah.
And it's going to make this man so much happier. Who cares? Just tolerance. I think that's something a lot of people need to work on, for real.
Yeah.
But that's moving us in. I'm so glad that you were born and raised in Milwaukee, because that's going to make your answers for this next segment truly authentic. So for this last segment, it is this or that. It's Milwaukee edition.
Yep.
Again, there is no right or wrong answer. It's all preference. I'm sure people in the comments will let you know if you are right or wrong according to them. No matter what.
This is my favorite.
So
making people upset with me.
Yes, everyone's got opinions.
I want to make
right?
everyone happy.
So question number 1. It's the summertime.
Gillies.
You can only take your friends to one thing. Are you taking them to Summerfest, or are you taking them to State Fair? Which is the better festival?
Better? That's not the
It's
right
objective.
question.
Oh, it's objective as hell.
All right, here's the thing. I'm not social. So, do I get to perform and then they're going to come see me?
I would say you have a couple buddies in from out of town, and you have to take them.
Well, then those friends are music people, and I have to take them to Summerfest.
Okay.
But then we gotta go hit up State Fair for the deep fried Snickers.
Okay. Summerfest
and the elote.
Yeah?
Because that's the only spot you can get that elote that one time a year.
I would go to 7 Mile Fair. That's going to be your best bet.
For elote?
Yeah.
What?
Yes, that's
I
where I
would not
usually go.
told me
Yeah,
this.
see? Yeah. There's a booth that's been there, honestly, since...
Every
I'm
day?
assuming before I was born. They're only
No.
open Saturday, Sundays.
Yeah, they're only up on the weekends.
But it is phenomenal.
The 7 Mile Fair is
Is
I'll
that
be
rich
honest.
people stuff? I've never done that.
No.
Oh, no, the opposite.
this is like-
No, the opposite. It's a flea
no,
market.
this is on a farm, babe.
Yeah.
I've never been
Yeah,
there.
it's
You
like
have to go.
outdoor flea market.
It's like
Well,
a
I mean, I know
national
what 7 Mile
treasure, dude.
Fair is, but
Yeah.
I've never experienced
There's
it.
You
a
should
booth
go in there.
inside. Now, mind you, when we were kids, it was phenomenal. Now it's a little bit different. It's not as flea market-y. It's a little bit.
Yeah.
It's still a great time, honestly. But yeah, they have a elote there. I've been getting it since I was a kid. The dude has a huge booth. They roast the corn fresh right there, cut it right in front of you. Whole buffet of all the stuff you want to add to it. I'll usually go there first, eat it while shopping around, and then get another one when I leave.
Yep.
Because me and my girl will smash one like
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
Yep.
You gotta go.
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
go. Okay.
Just
You
because,
said that so serious.
you're such a Milwaukee person,
Yeah.
you have to experience 7 Mile Fair.
Okay.
Yeah, totally.
I
agree.
honestly, I don't know that I have. I don't
We'll
have
go.
It'll be
a
fun.
memory.
Yeah, you would remember it for sure
Okay.
if you went. Now, just real quick, we said Summerfest.
Yep.
Who was more fun to open for,
Ooh.
Shaq or Lizzo?
It's so different.
Super different.
That's my world. That's the funny thing. Okay, we just talked about I DJ'd a golf tournament, and now we're
Yeah.
talking about DJing for Shaq and Lizzo. I have to pick Lizzo
Okay.
because
Now, this was 2019, Lizzo?
yes,
I went, Chelsea was 9 months pregnant.
yes,
She was 9 months pregnant when we went to see Lizzo.
and this is a whole podcast
she
of
was
itself.
fucking huge.
Whole podcast because Summerfest got her signed
Before she was big.
before she
Yeah.
blew
I
up.
performed that night, and I was like, why can't I move? And it was
Yeah.
because she was on a side stage.
Yes. At the time, I think it was like the Harley stage, which it doesn't exist anymore.
She ended up playing on the Miller stage.
She was on Miller.
She
She was
for
on
sure
Miller.
played
Right,
on
it was Miller.
She was on
I
Miller.
think Miller doesn't exist anymore then, or maybe it does.
Now they like tore it down, and now it's like on an angle. It's weird. But
Either way,
yeah.
Because like you're like, how many people are out there? And so again, Milwaukeeans are gonna know this day.
Yeah.
Summerfest never shuts down.
Ever.
We are on the way to driving to Summerfest. So it's like me and my manager and his wife. And then I think we had a videographer with us, but I don't remember who it was at the time. And we're like, so if you've performed at Summerfest, like we're about to go over by the Hone Bridge and like park over there by like parking where you get in shuttles and then they drive you into Summerfest
and stuff.
Yeah, or vans or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so like we're about to get in, they're like, we're shutting down. We're like, what? Like,
huh?
yeah. And I'm like, so like I'm not afraid of anything. I'm not except Mother Nature. And like this was a storm. Like this was a storm.
Yeah.
So at the time I'm on Twitter and I'm like, this is how I'm getting information. Like live information is happening. Like I'm like literally just doing this, like refresh. And so we're originally just sitting in my car waiting. And then I don't even know how long it was. And I don't want to say a time because I'll probably exaggerate. And then they finally put us in the shuttle and we get in. And then before you know it, we were delayed again. But like we set my gear up. All these people are still there. And it had just dumped.
Horrible.
Like, dumped. Like rain, like thunder, lightning, like terrible, terrible storm. And
yeah.
It has to be bad because it has to also be windy.
Yeah.
Because that's when I learned, like from a production standpoint, all the speakers that are hanging now become a liability, everything.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, they don't evacuate, but they say like, good luck. Like, yeah, good luck.
They
like,
hit you with a stamp and a hard hat,
and
like,
they're like, yeah,
shove you in.
Don't sue.
Right. There's no music happening. We're not liable. Like, so like, I'm backstage dry, and literally, I think it was 10,000 people on a free stage, and like
I've never seen
anything like it. Like, and I try to explain it to people who don't understand, and you can't.
I will say the closest thing. Now, I will say it wasn't as big. The Lizzo wasn't as big, but the closest thing was the Wiz Khalifa.
Yeah.
The 2010 Wiz Khalifa show, or was it 11, 10? That was like nothing I've ever seen. That was like Lollapalooza volume of people because it was same thing. They signed him right before he got big. They blew up, and it was Wiz, and he had somebody big with him. It was Wiz and somebody else opened for him, and I don't remember who it was, but it was a big name, and people showed up, same thing, and it was just,
it was a vibe. Like I hesitate saying
you come out and you're like, what the
no, and I
just
I mean,
see.
Literally, yeah.
See.
And like we have phenomenal video of it, and people were chanting my name. And I know that they just wanted music to be played in general because like it had been a day.
Yeah.
But like our video and photos that we got from that night are just
phenomenal.
We couldn't get our shuttle because the Miller stage, it faces that like little food court.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was on a really small stage behind the food court.
Yeah.
And we were waiting to get picked up to go home. And like we literally couldn't go home because Lizzo and like the entire group was there like, yeah, we can't get your van. And we were like, so what do you want us to do? We had to wait. It was one of the craziest things at Summerfest.
Yeah.
And I was like, who's performing? And they were like, Lizzo. And I'm like, and she's on Miller.
In a free stage? Like, fuck.
And it did rain.
Yeah, bad.
Yeah,
we had to
but
pause.
then it stopped.
Yep.
It stopped.
It was really
like,
bad.
30 minutes before her set, because I remember we waited in the car for it to stop raining.
It stopped right before she was supposed to go on. It was like an act of God.
Yeah.
That night was for her, dude.
That shit was so crazy.
It was insane.
Yeah. I got so sidetracked.
Sorry. Oh my God.
No. I like it. Like I said, that one. Shaq was great. It was just coming out of COVID. It was tricky.
Yeah.
But I have another fun picture because I had a Giannis jersey on. That was the summer after they won the championship.
Okay.
And Shaq took my jersey and held it, and it literally looks like
Like
he's
a
holding
child's.
a child's, like a toddler.
Like a toddler onesie.
Small t-shirt. And I was like, that's mine. And like, I'm not a tiny human. Like, I wear a large I wear
Jersey.
a large hoodie.
Yeah.
Literally, just like a normal human large.
Yep.
And Shaq's holding it, and it looks like you picked up like Paul Molitor bobblehead
Yeah,
shirt.
yeah.
Like,
It's like,
yeah, that's my t-shirt in Shaq's hand.
So for question number 2 of Milwaukee edition, this or that, friends again, out of town, you got to put them onto a Milwaukee spot. Are you taking them to Cops or Leon's?
Gillies.
That's fair. That's from
that's
where you're
the
from.
neighborhood.
That's your neighborhood.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
I love them all, but that's what I've learned is like, I again will not argue best, better, worst. They're all amazing.
Yeah.
Love them all.
That
But
was the
it's just
spot.
down to your neighborhood.
Mhm.
And that is my neighborhood.
Yeah. That's
So-
fair. My sisters used to go there like after their dances because they played sports with Blessed Sacrament.
Yep.
So they would always do stuff with like St. Romans and like all those.
I also think it's actually pronounced Gillis's, but
Is it? That would
yeah,
be crazy.
which is not fair.
I've
'cause
been
it's-
fucking up.
me too, all my life,
fair.
but I still say Gillies.
I still say Gillies.
Yeah,
Yeah, I say Gillies.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is funny because we're all.
But
from
now
the
that I
neighborhood.
look at it, it could be like Giles. Because that's
It
how
could be
Giles spells his
Jilly
name in
for
Street
all I
Fighter.
know.
Yeah. Is he still around? Question number 3 is going to be, where is the better place to take people? Taking them to the domes, experiencing that, or bringing them to our famous art museum?
Oh man, what's the exhibit at the domes?
Well, it always rotates. I know previously they had like a Alice in Wonderland exhibit. So
That's
you have
cool.
like the tropical, then you have the desert, and then you have the one that always changes. They change like the dome
Right.
display and
Yeah.
stuff. So I would say it's Christmas time, and
Yeah.
it's set up like a beautiful little Christmas
Then the
village.
domes.
Okay,
Yeah.
I love the domes.
I do too.
Yeah.
That's the thing, and I think it's so unique. I love our art museum.
Yep.
It obviously is top notch,
Mm-hmm.
and it's I love it. Like, and I love kids can go free now.
Yep.
Like, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But domes, if you've never been to Milwaukee and you're like, we're gonna go to a museum type thing today, then there's nothing like it.
The art museum, I feel you have to be into art, and it's so big, so you
Yeah.
can easily be in there for 3-4 hours, no
Yeah.
problem. The domes is everybody can enjoy that. They
And you still got time to go to
animals.
Gillies.
Yeah, it's only an hour.
Right.
I mean, if you're on that side, you might go to Leon's because it's
no,
right
you're not.
there,
I know,
but
I
not
know,
to
I know.
eat. You
Yeah.
would just get like custard because Leon's has sloppy joes and hot dogs, and
Yeah.
that's it. And they're not it. I'll be honest. I'm sorry, but like one time I got a sloppy joe there, and I just looked at it, and I was like, "This is gonna make me sick. I'm so sorry. I like can't. Like,
I don't think I've ever had a sloppy joe from Leon's, but
don't.
neither have you. So.
No,
Yeah.
it was like the sloppiest of Joe.
Yeah.
Like it was like wet. It was like soup on a bun. I was like, oh God, no.
Yeah,
Are
think
you
about
looking
that
for
out.
them to endorse your podcast?
No,
Yes.
no, please don't. Because didn't the owner of Leon's turn out to be like super racist?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Which is crazy
Yeah.
because his wife is Hispanic.
Yeah.
And he's like anti-Hispanic,
Yeah,
which is
he said
crazy.
you couldn't speak Spanish.
You
there.
couldn't speak Spanish there, which
Yeah.
is insane. Because it was like his wife speaks. It was like, what is happening? Yeah. So sorry, Leon's. Chopped off the blood.
Gillies in it.
Gillies it is. All right, number 4. What is the better neighborhood event to attend to?
Oh my.
Brady Street Fest, Bayview Bash. Very
didn't-
different vibes. Very
It
different
is,
vibes.
but I also, I think it's again a neighborhood thing.
Yeah.
I'm a East Side kid.
Okay.
Like, so that's my vote is Brady Street, and again I had a really fun set one time
Very
at Brady
cool.
Street, and that like kind of holds a special place in my heart as well.
I love
And
Brady Street.
Gloriosos is right there. Look at
Full circle. I wish they would bring back the BMX stuff. They stopped it
Yeah.
the last 2 years. They got rid
Yeah.
of it. But that was so cool. Brady Street Days used to be so crazy. We vended this year, and it was cool being down there, but man, does it gets real sketchy by like 7 o'clock.
well, and, yeah, I know.
It
And
gets
that's,
rowdy as fuck.
yeah,
Like-
yeah. Maybe you shouldn't be vending that.
No, we
Yeah.
packed up. No, we had all of our shirts, and they were
Yeah.
like, "Oh, you can stay until midnight." I was like, "No, thank you. No." It was like 7 o'clock, and we were like, "Getting out of here," because I was like, "Someone's gonna puke on our stuff, or just
Oh,
try and
yeah.
steal it, or
Yeah.
just like we don't need to be selling T-shirts on Brady Street after 7 o'clock." It's no reason for that.
Right.
No reason for that. I haven't been to Bayview Bash in a couple years, though. Actually, I'd say when's the last time you went?
That's the other thing. Admittedly, I haven't in a while either.
Okay.
So that, like I said, like it's a neighborhood thing for me, and like I love like, again, like if I can scoot right there or walk or So yeah.
Okay. So the last and final question.
Yep.
We're taking it to the pizza. Better Milwaukee pizza spot. Which one are you preferring? Classic Slice in Bayview or Ian's? I know Ian's has multiple locations, so we'll just count them as a whole.
This I struggle with. So like, I'm gonna name drop. So Ian started in Madison, and do you know his story?
No, I don't.
This man traveled the whole country and decided that Madison, Wisconsin was the best place to start this new pizza spot.
Okay.
And so after my freshman year at Madison, we weren't as good, just to say the least.
Okay.
He was like one of our biggest supporters.
Super cool.
So like I have like emotional ties to
him as an individual or like his business?
Both.
Like, oh, okay.
Both.
Super cool.
Yeah. So like the OG, store for Ian's like started in Madison. But like Milwaukee pizza isn't Ian's. And so I love Ian, but I need Milwaukee pizza. Like if you want, like I love Ian's, like mac and cheese pizza, like just always hits. And I think he's like one of the first to do it. Like he started making different pizza. Like again, I was an undergrad, a long time ago, and he was doing it.
Yeah.
And so and I liked it, and it hit with college students, and especially he was open late night, and so. But I love Ian, but I'm gonna go just I like cracker crust. We're talking like pizza.
Is there a place you would pick over these two that you're thinking of as like your go-to pizza spot?
That's tricky because my girlfriend and I have disagreements on what kind of pizza's good.
Okay. So. You said you like the thinners. You're saying
I just like pizza. So, but like sometimes if it's too thin for her, then it's like, why are we eating this?
Don't take her to Zaffiro's then.
I love Zaffiro's.
I love Zaffiro's.
Love Zaffiro's.
Yes.
She did not. I remember that because I got it one
she
time.
doesn't like thin.
Yeah,
it's paper.
I know, but it's so good.
It's so good. Like I can put down like a 20-inch because it's so thin.
That's what I like. I like being able to eat it all sometimes. But then
another full circle moment, one of their longest servers and family relative, now my daughter's teacher's aide at school.
Look at that.
She was like, I recognize your last name. Like, is John your grandfather? And I was like, holy shit, I'm telling him that. He's actually my dad, but that was hilarious. And she was like, oh my gosh. She was like, well, how old are you? I was like, I'm 33. And she's like, oh my gosh, that's so crazy. She was like, I know your whole family. I was like, I'm sure you do.
That's funny.
But where else? Sorry. Pizza.
No, I love Zaffiro's, but then again, neighborhood thing, like Barbier's and Balustrades.
Okay. What was the first one?
Barbier's.
Where's that?
Over on Blue Mountain. Both of them are Blue Mountain.
Balustrades, I know right there, but I don't know where the other one is.
Barbier's. Right. So I always get them confused when I'm thinking about them in my head. So Balustrades, is that Blue Mountain?
Yeah.
Balustrades is right by McDonald's.
Right by McDonald's.
Yeah.
Yep.
Barbier's, so if you go west, it's on then, hold on. So if we're driving west, so that's east, so north. So on the south side of the street, right, almost on the same block, like right off of Holly, like one block west of Holly is Barbier's.
So before you hit Balustrades, if you're coming from
if you're coming from downtown,
okay,
yeah, it'll be on the right side of the street, and you won't know that it's a pizza spot, but
so it's like right by the steak place.
Yeah, that place closed, didn't it? 5 o'clock or not 5 o'clock?
Milwaukee
Steakhouse. I think
okay,
closed.
maybe,
But before that, it's like a block or two before that.
Oh, okay.
Because I think there's like automotive.
Yeah, the automotive place.
The yellow and blue place.
Yep, and there's like a tiny little thrift store there.
Right across the street from the automotive place, on the corner. And I kid you not. So like when you if you've not eaten there,
I've never been.
And it's an experience. Literally, like you're walking into like, I feel like I'm walking into like the 60s mafia. Because like you walk in and it kind of goes, you feel like you're in a basement, but you're not.
Okay.
But they also have like your order window where you can look right into the kitchen and they're like, we need a pepperoni.
Yeah.
And like, you're like, I'm right here, guy. Like,
also, it's 2025. Like, it's probably on a digital screen in the back.
I don't know. But
the 20-year-old cooking back is like, Jimmy, I fucking know.
Yeah, he does this.
Yeah,
and I
of
was
course.
like, I love it. I need the garlic sauce. And so It's an experience, and that's one of my favorites too.
I
For
love
both
that.
of
I
them.
have not been. Have you been to Maria's on Forest Home?
Uh-uh.
Because that's kind of like that. It still has like the red and white checker table.
That's it. Yeah.
Each table has like a red little lantern.
Little
on it.
candle.
Yeah.
And like there's no regular lighting. Like
why
go
are all
in
the lights
there
like
at
red?
You go in there at noon and you're like, is it 9 p.m.? Like
Like, have you been at Random?
No.
Have you? Oh, have you ever been? The
At
one on the
Random
corner
is
right by Cactus
awesome.
Club.
Wait, what is it?
It's
What-
awesome. They just redid it too.
They did so it is
Huh?
like a old.
It's like a cocktail bar.
Cocktail bar with like really like they do like even like ice cream alcohol drinks.
Well, I don't
and they
drink,
have-
so this one's
That's true. I
Yeah.
don't drink either. So,
Yeah.
but it is fun to go for like one drink. It's definitely
Yeah.
an experience. It's same thing. It's very oldie, like 60s.
Yeah.
Like, you feel like you might see like the ghost of Frank Sinatra in there or
Yeah.
something. Like it's very like,
Yeah.
and that same waitress is still there, which is obscene because when I was 21 and I went there, she was like 90. So she's gotta be like,
We need that water
or I said,
or the candle.
the
Whatever.
trip is she's actually dead, and then she's like her ghost, and she's just been serving everybody, and nobody bats an
She's
eye.
the vampire at Random.
Seriously, well, it doesn't help that all the lights are red.
They are.
And
It's cool in there.
and like the couches are like
okay.
big, like oval, like padded couch. I love
Like
it.
go on a date there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
don't have to
same
drink,
thing,
but, like,
even if
definitely
it's
go on a
not
date.
big drink
Okay.
thing, yeah. Get one drink and then go to Classic Slice. It's right down the
Yeah.
street.
Nice.
Yeah, it's
But
perfect.
Or
only
no.
if you go to Barbier's.
DiMarini's is right there
Yeah.
too.
Mhm.
DiMarini's is a decent spot.
We got great pizza in the
We
city, and the
really do.
pizza history is so fun to learn.
Wanna
I
know
need to
a
get put
deep
on. I'm
one?
like behind on
Pizza.
pizza stuff. Yeah,
Okay.
put me
I
on.
gotta put you on some spots. Want to know a crazy pizza fact about Milwaukee?
Please,
First place to deliver pizza in Milwaukee,
please say Gloriosos. Oh,
Gloriosos.
yeah.
Trios Pizza. They
Wow.
would, because they had the grocery store
Yeah.
and they were wholesaling to southeastern Wisconsin, they were getting sauce and cheeses and meats so cheap, they could make pizzas as cheap as you could. So then they would wait until there were 10 orders in the neighborhood and everybody would place their order. Hey, I need Friday night. Like, people weren't calling and be like, I need a pizza in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Everybody was placing orders ahead. Like,
Ahead of time.
hey, I need 3 pizzas to my house on Saturday at 6. So they would schedule all the orders. They'd make all the orders, put them in the truck, and then go deliver them. This was, because
Brilliant.
Glorioso started with, they were fruit peddlers. And then my nanu and my great nanu learned how to make wine. So when the produce wouldn't sell at the end of the day, they would just turn it into wine and sell it for more anyways. So they wouldn't even care if the produce didn't sell. They wanted it to go bad. So
Yeah.
here's the price. If you don't like it, okay, well, you're going to buy my wine next week anyways. So they would take it, they'd process all the wine, they'd start selling Glorioso's wine, which then led where Emperor of China is.
Yeah.
That used to be Glorioso's villa, Glorioso's restaurant, Glorioso's pizza, Glorioso's grocery store, all on one block. It was crazy.
That's cool.
Then the pizza place closed. My mom opened her own little gift shop in there called the Italian Peddler. Heat transfers, stickers, patches, like minor like sew repair, shit like that. But they held that block down for so long. But yeah, first pizza delivery place in Milwaukee.
That's
super
cool.
crazy. Now, someone's gonna be like, that's not true. All I'm saying is that's a story I was always told. So take it up with my grams and my
And we
family tree
believe
if
it.
you're wrong.
We believe
I
it.
believe it because I couldn't find anything else that said otherwise. I only found other articles like Fox 6 reporting my family telling them that they were the first. So as long as I'm
You
concerned,
claimed it. It's yours.
That's
It's
as far
yours.
as
You
I
can't
know.
argue it. I
But
love
yeah,
it.
super crazy. Milwaukee does have some crazy
The
pizza. We
pizza
should do-
story is cool. Like the
Yeah.
pizza history. Again, it is.
Mhm.
It like started here and then just went.
Mhm.
So that's why like same with wings. I feel like
Yeah.
like wings are a whole other thing. But
Yep.
like, yeah, that's cool.
Points
I didn't
East?
know that.
Wings? Have you been to Points East?
I have. Admittedly, I don't patronage there anymore.
Okay.
For-
Oh yeah, because
Yeah.
he's like a Leon's guy, right? He's kind of canceled too.
That's how
Well,
we're referring to
Adam
people.
with a
Yeah.
list. Jesus.
He wanted
Yeah.
a Leon's guy.
I love the Nick. The Nick actually has
Oh, yeah.
dry rub that I like too. And wait, my guys that I work with, like at the Bucks, also they love wings, so they always tell me their favorite spot.
Everybody
But-
told me Mango's right off of Brady. has
Mangoes,
crazy
that's
wings.
it. That's it. Mangoes.
Yeah.
I've DJ'd Sunday Funday there. Mangoes does have fire wings.
Everybody says, I've never
Yeah.
gotten them, but I got to. Everybody says they're fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do. You know how now they're not like wings; it's just fried chicken. But if you've never been in Nino's,
Yep.
I don't think
Nino's
people would
is fire.
expect Shorewood to have
No.
a fire soul food place.
Nino's is fire.
Oh my
Fire.
God.
Fire.
Smothered
Fire.
chicken.
Fire.
Sheesh.
Fire. Fire.
Goes crazy. Not gonna lie.
I also
Definitely
like
try
the
that.
wing spot at 3rd Street Market Hall. Is
I
it
have not
Mr.
been.
Wings?
I have not been.
They are good. I like
I have
them.
not been to 3rd Street at all, but
Yeah.
everybody says that that's like a place you got to check out.
Good wings.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I like that spot.
Dang, Word Wednesday
Food.
should just transition to us going someplace and getting food.
I love food.
We're just gonna we've done like food challenges here.
I'll shoot content.
But I need to, like, I want to do like hot food, not just like. But yeah, that'd be cool to do like a Word Wednesday food. Like we're gonna hit up 5 spots and do like a mini food review and like travel.
Come
So
on.
we'll have you back and do a food
I love
thing.
it. I'm here for
We'll do
it.
a food thing and we'll charge you to
For
the
it.
business card.
Yeah.
Run it on the
Swear to
tab.
God, run it.
Run the tab. I always feel good when I do that too. I'm like, charge it to the card. Now, mind you, it's a debit card, so they take my money immediately. It is not a credit card, but it definitely feels good.
And you still have to pay for it.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
it's like-
I know. I don't know why. It's just
Yeah,
like a fault.
I
I've
get
never
it.
had a credit card. I think I'm very impulsive, and I very have like an addictive personality. So like I'm on like Whatnot and eBay all the time, and it's like if I had a credit card and I could be like, wait, I could buy this now, sell it for more next week, and then pay this all eventually. 40K, run it. Oh, inbox sealed Pokemon, run it. Oh, 30,000K Pokemon cards, run it. Like, no, I have no self-control, so the key is to just not.
That checks out.
Mhm.
That checks out.
My grandpa used to say if you can't buy it twice, you can't afford it. And I live
love your
by
grandpa
that.
now.
Yep.
A lot.
Yep. Just to end it off,
Yeah.
do you have anything you want to let people know that you have going on? Any projects, any fundraisers, events coming up, things you want to spread awareness on? Let the people know. I always want to make sure I give space and time for people to plug their Instagram, their YouTube, what you're working on, anything.
Thanks.
Mhm.
I think what I would love to do is I'm always collecting Milwaukee music.
Very cool.
That is one of my favorite things, like just as a human, because I love learning what our city sounds like. And I oftentimes is so different from what I think like a lot of people's perception is of that.
Yeah.
So, and the other side on the work side, from a Buck standpoint, we have our like city jerseys, city nights.
So
And when we do that, I have a playlist that is sponsored in game by Sprite, and when the players run out, I play that music. So if I pick your song and I like the vibe, then you get to come and like be a half court. I play
Yeah.
your song, and Giannis is out there warming up to like your song. So that's all. They just follow me on Instagram, shoot me a DM. And I'll send you. I have a dedicated email for it, so
Okay.
I won't like spit it because you won't remember it. But
Yeah.
yeah, just shoot me a DM on Instagram at DJ Shawna. But yeah, and when you send it, please send clean, like
Clean versions.
radio friendly MP3s, and it's all genres. I mean, we love hip hop and R&B, but
Yeah.
my dream, before I am finished with this job with the Bucks, my dream is for a city night in the future, whenever that may be, for every sound you hear to be a Milwaukee sound. And
Yeah.
it's a collection of music. The amount of music I play in one game is crazy. So my goal is to do one game. Every sound you hear is Milwaukee music. So I
Okay.
need all kinds of music, all kinds of vibes, all kind of energy.
Oh,
yeah.
also the Twan Mac Night was
Oh, man.
very cool.
Thanks.
It was very cool.
That
was very sweet. That was hearing about him passing was very upsetting. He was someone who
Yeah.
supported Sayward way before I even had a brick and mortar, and his passing was obviously very abrupt and a little jarring. It was pretty sad. So when I saw
Yeah.
that, I think it was that night or the next day when you did it and you played his whole set list and all of his music was super cool.
Thanks.
So I think a lot of people appreciated that. That was
Thank you.
good
For
shit.
that. Thanks. I
Yeah.
pushed for that, and that was our first city night of the season, and I appreciate that because like that's one of my goals is to try to, when I can, like do my part for Milwaukee and do right. Because like I said, I mean, Twan was a friend of mine, and he influenced me, and he had numerous songs on my playlist
Yeah.
like years
and huge
previously.
Bucks fans.
Huge
so it's
Bucks
just
fan,
so-
like tied in with Arrested Development. Like there's so many Milwaukee. He is Milwaukee.
yeah,
And like
Mhm.
so just so much, and like to watch him live his dream and go on tour with them and man, and I love his music. Like I love
Yeah.
what he was doing, and I mean it's
just
a
being like
loss.
positive.
Yes.
just like a beacon of
Right.
positivity.
Yeah.
in music in the
Right.
city. Just
Yeah,
as a
that was
creative.
it's a proud moment to feel like I'm an instrument at that time, if that makes sense. Like it's not about me, and it's that was about Twan, and you know, to continue to put on for Milwaukee.
Yeah, gotta live for those who can't. That's something I've always said.
Thank you.
Yes, of course. Cool. Well, again, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for tuning in. This was episode 31 of Word Wednesday. This is DJ Shawna. We will drop information below, where to find, where to follow, all the information. Go to the next Bucks game. Check her spinning. It's going to be beautiful. Another amazing person on Word Wednesday from this amazing and beautiful community. DJ Shawna, thank you again. I
Thank you very
appreciate
much.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.